the search and rescue team, do you have some things that might be helpful, that something that you learned or something that you noticed or think? Yes.
I really learned how people are all like screaming at you and crazy.
Yeah.
Because I want to be a doctor, but I couldn't.
Yeah, so that was a good experience to realize that this could happen. No, it wasn't a good experience.
Oh, it was, but it was crazy.
I think the more you do drills like this, so if there's other opportunities and you get used to that happening, you'll be able to stay focused more, just with experience. Yes.
Well, I noticed with the more people who were being treated and the more search and rescue teams, they started coming in to help the wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone started getting people to sit with, pretty much.
In the medical area?
Yeah, and people around me were just trying to calm their victims down, and
Good.
sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah, but they were trying.
Yeah,
Good.
I saw it easy, kind of just to say, ask like, what's your favorite kind of thing to do? What do you want to be after this?
Oh, that's great. You saw that happening, huh?
Yeah.
That's really good, you guys. That's really good. Awesome. Yeah, good. This is a common thing that happened, and it happened today, is overlooking a shock victim. Karen, I think, was one of them, where she was, as an actor, she was someone who was in shock, and she got tagged green initially. Eventually she got tagged red, yes. And so that's an area that I think you guys really need to think about. Shock victims a lot of times don't have blood, they don't have obvious injuries, but it's more of a mental state, or, with not the circulation. And so it's something to really be thinking about. A lot of times they're not screaming like the ones that are screaming for attention, and so slow down a little bit more when you come upon someone who doesn't have any obvious injuries, and who maybe isn't very verbal, and take a little bit of extra time to see if they are actually going into shock. Karen, anything to add to that?
Yes.
Okay.
You all know when you've taken a multiple guess test and you've written down the answer B, and then you erased it and you put in a C, you got the test back and it was B, and you know that your first response, and now you're a little bit wiser because the word is go with your gut feeling. Somebody, and I think a gal, was going to tag me red, and she had the red out, and her partner said no, 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 and so she was talked down, and then the partner was getting a yellow out, and then I blew it by saying, really think this one through. Here's this actor, real character, then threw a wrench in it, and I kept, here's my tag, and so then I was tag green. So, so whoever did that is totally your fault, because I messed up. But go with your gut feeling sometimes. So that's the first thing.
Okay.
And then the second thing, which surprised me, was when I was on the red tarp, how comfortable 2x4s are under your feet.
Oh, very good.
And so that was a good thing. And the other thing is, being on the cement is cold.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And thank you, Karen. And so really, when you have a medical treatment area, so if an earthquake happens when you're at school, you're probably going to end up setting up a medical treatment area outside somewhere. And all of the victims that you have, all the survivors, are going to be laying on a cold ground. And so you have to think about hypothermia and think, what other tarps are available? What other blankets are available? How can I keep their backside from getting wet? How can I keep them warm as they're laying there? So that's a really good point to be thinking about in real life. Okay, yes, please do.
Hi, you guys did awesome.
Yeah.
I did want to say one thing, is usually Sue has me be an observer in the search and rescue, and I wanted to be a victim this time. And I wanted to share with you something. My family's from Oklahoma, and my sister's family was in the tornado. And they dived into the cellar, and when the tornado cast in more, the house, the whole neighborhood was gone, and the only thing that was left was the concrete pads.
So her sister's house was gone. They came out of the cellar, nothing.
So they came out of the cellar, and they immediately walked over to the school we've all heard about. And this is where I took my idea as the victim. In the school, the parents were so frantic for their children. And sometimes my brother-in-law told me that it was easy for the rescuers to get distracted by very vocal parents. And I was a very vocal victim, wasn't I?
Very good.
Because I loved my mom. To me, the most important thing was my mom. And so you can't, it's easy, you know, when we are hurt, sometimes we don't squawk near as bad as when our family members are hurt. And so it's something to remember is that I only had a little cut on my arm. And other than that, I was fine. I was frightened and scared for my mom. So I was demanding a lot of attention, and you guys were so, bless your hearts, you were giving it to me. But sometimes you just have to be firm and just say, we will be back, I promise you, and then leave. And I think that's the hardest thing to do to somebody that's scared. The other thing I was going to mention is I have 3 brothers and a sister-in-law that are doctors that were all manning hospitals in Oklahoma City. I talked to my brother later, and he said, we were talking about shock, and he said, you can die of shock with no physical injury.
Yeah.
Absolutely no internal injury, nothing. You can die of shock. And so it is very important to recognize shock and treat it. Thank you. You guys were so awesome.
I saw a lot of really good buddy work. I saw good lifts, good drags, good carries. You guys seem to have that mastered really well.
And good talking.
And good talking to each other, good communication, which is a higher level skill from, I mean, you need that skill in all your life and whatever jobs that you guys are in relationships and stuff, that communication, that is so important. You guys got it. You guys really have it. You guys showed a lot of maturity in all that you did. You made adjustments. Sometimes I'd say, don't go there without a buddy, and you'd call for a buddy and stuff. Yeah. It wasn't just you, it was others too. So remember the buddy system. I mean, it's easy to want to run back and get stuff because you guys care and you want to hurry and help someone else. But you've got to think about you and your buddy's safety. That's the first thing that's important, and then helping other people is important. So I think you guys are awesome. Does anyone else want to share something? Yes,
I'd like to share that I expected them to bring a blanket and put me on it and carry out, and there was no blanket. And I'm sure that you can't just suddenly turn around in a situation like that and find blankets when you want them.
Right.
And I thought it was so thoughtful of the boys to leave me on the chair, and then 2 boys just lifting me and carrying me for about half a mile. So I really the chair what they did to get me out of there.
Good. That is cool. Good
That's
job.
my mom.
Actually, not in real life though. It's actually Barb's mom. In real life.